mind you can't control. Running wild, can't come down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. For a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We gotta party for a lifetime. Oh, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. For a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeding your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind. And I won't let you go. I need you by my side.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries as we'll fall now. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And then we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. I'm on my last straw, I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeling your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind. And I won't let you go. I need you by my side.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube, anywhere in the world right now. And you chose to be here with me. Your time is valuable and I appreciate it. Today is July 13th, 2024, 4:27 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Hope you all are well. Good to see you all. You're stuck with us. There's no other people I would rather be stuck with. I have the best people out there. Promise. Promise, promise, promise. Grace, and you are one of them. So, going back to the Sebastian Rogers case, God, when is this kid going to be found, y'all? It's driving me nuts. It's like, gosh, we need Sebastion to be found, Michael Vaughn to be found, Summer to be found. Too many. You know what I mean? Catherine, thank you so much, my sweeties. You guys are so nice to me. I really do appreciate that, my dear. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Thank you. Appreciate you, my dear. Thank you for your super. Oh my God, your Poochie's so cute. I just saw that. It's so cute. When are the obvious suspects going to be treated like suspects? Wannabe Sleuthin says, I feel you, girl. And that's kind of what we are going to talk about today is what do the experts on YouTube say? Um, Former or retired or police officers, active, uh, like people in the Cold Case Foundation. Um, what do profilers say? And they all say, to the best of my knowledge, they all say something isn't right here. Something isn't right. And just the few profile classes I have taken, and just common sense, in my opinion, something's definitely not right. Something definitely is not right. Um, so there's that. Yeah, the Cold Case Foundation does a lot. And I thought we could review some of the things that Chris McDonough from the interview room, when he spoke on this case, and he spoke um, with Steve Johnson from truthtolies.com. He offers wonderful classes, by the way, and they're at a very, relatively affordable rate as well. So, where was that comment? Tina, Justin, the thing about Katie having a friend in the house about Sebastion disappeared has me up in arms. Wouldn't you ask your friend to help look for him? No mention of Lori until 4 months in. Now, I am not 100% that she was in the house personally. Personally, I'm not 100% that she was in the house, but she may have been. Um, if she wasn't, when was she last at the house? Also, if she wasn't at the house that night, was she around in the area? Isn't that sings just wondering? Tar Heel, isn't that you that sings Tar? I don't know if Tar sings or not. This is a random thought, but anyone ever heard the story about the parrot that snitched on his owner by replaying the event? Wild AF. Now I want a bird even more. Right. Right. I understand that. Bag lady. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you, bag lady. Yeah, we keep it on these. I'm here for true crime. That's all I'm here for. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello. I have missed a lot of this case, Sassy Southern Girl said. Well, there is a lot that has gone on in 5 months. It has been a whirlwind. Lori was there. News to me. Lori was supposed to be the one who went with CP to get the. Really? According to CP in one of his versions of truth. Really? I didn't know that. I didn't hear that, Black Skies. Hello, Black Skies. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. No worries. No worries. Um, I still think Sebastion went for a walk and got kidnapped. Shauna says. Shauna, I would think that would be possible, except for there's no evidence of that. And in my opinion, I just don't think you can walk out a door and not have a scent, not be on camera, and the parents not having consistent stories. I think that is where the rubber hits the road, so to speak. And I don't see why he would have went outdoors at after midnight when he should have medication in him to make him sleep, and nothing, just nothing. And I always say, well, if they didn't pick him up on camera, if they had a scent, fine. And the parents' stories remained the same. If the times remained the same, they didn't switch their stories. But I have a problem whenever law enforcement says we didn't get a scent. He is not on camera. There's other things on camera of that night, but nothing of the sort of Sebastion doing anything on his own accord. Nothing. The only thing we have evidence is that there's a disappearance. That's all we have evidence of. Now, how that disappearance happened, that's another story. But Dana, thank you so much. Thank you, my love. If you received that pearl necklace, please give our beloved Dana a big, big thank you. Very sweet of you, my dear. Thank you. Hello, Samantha. The only tune my 11-year-old grandson agrees to go to Skilo is only after night meds kick in. The only tune, I don't know what that means, Brent. I'm sorry. I apologize. The only tune, Deborah, thinks Sebastion was apprehended for accessing Danny's computer because found incriminating evidence. Perhaps Seth overheard something in the jail where he works. I mean, could there have been something on that computer? Yes, there could have been but I don't think, that was Friday night. We know Sebastion was alive at what, 6:30 p.m. on Sunday the 25th. Something had to happen after that. Thank you so much, Sonia, my lovey loves. Appreciate you. In memory of Alex, a real mother who was killed trying to protect her little son from a carjacker. Isn't that sad, Sonia? Isn't that sad? The hell's the world came to? You know what I mean? Your car's getting jacked and you get ran over trying to save your child. Molly Colley says people need to start putting the points together. CPS was in the Wells case, and the case and the government's been trafficking for years. Um, I mean, I think this could very well have to do with kind of related to the CPS. We know that they were there on January 26th or 28th. And a few days later, Chris is out and says he never returns again until the morning Sebastion goes missing. Well, there are others that would say that's not true. That Chris was indeed in Hendersonville definitely the week before. I think he was there the weekend Sebastion went missing. I do. Personally. I do. He may not be. CPS was involved in adopting out the West boys fraudulently. Yes. Um, they should have never have given the West boys up. Oh my goodness, True Sleuth, thank you so much. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Justin. Happy birthday to you and many more. Thank you for being here. You're awesome. Thank you so much, True Sleuth. You're very kind to me. You're very generous, and I appreciate you tremendously, so much, and I appreciate your friendship as well. More importantly, thank you. Monday's my actual birthday. But uh, the fifth, is it the 15th? Is that what's today? Today's the 13th, right? So 2 days from now, Monday. Yeah, Monday is the 15th. Thank you all for the early. Do you have a birthday wish list? No, I didn't. I didn't do one this year. But I'm just happy I'm alive. I'm happy I'm overall healthy. I am very, very just fortunate to be alive. You know what I mean? Considering the things that we see every single day, these people living in absolute hell, the absolute hell that they live in, these kids that their mothers, the fathers don't protect their kids. It's something else. I'm getting spankings probably. 1 second. I got to take these eyelashes off. I can't handle them anymore. Sorry. I'm using this eyelash treatment right now, and it just doesn't go good with eyelashes. It makes my eyes hurt. So you get what you get, my old scraggly eyebrows or eyelashes rather. My heart breaks for Sebastion. It does me too, Shell, because not only to be disparaged constantly, right? To constantly being disparaged. Your mother and your stepfather out there, they don't care to say negative things about their child. 1 second. They don't care to say negative things about their child, right? And then you have Chris taking Sebastion's cats away. His snake they've had a few dogs that they've gotten rid of, and then ultimately throwing his stuff out, and then ultimately wanting him to go as well. It was a slow way to edge the child out of his own home. And shame on you, Katie. Shame on you. Shame on you, Katie. It's very sad. It's very sad. You know, most of us can't even understand growing up like these children. Most of us can't. We may have had a rough childhood. You know, things may have not been easy. Um, you know, I've always told you, you know, I grew up poor, like poor. And but we took care of everything we had. The little bit that we did have, we took care of it. And more importantly, we had love, right? Love. And most of us just, you know, no matter how your childhood was, you just can't understand not feeling loved growing up. You know what I mean? Like just literally surviving on your own almost from the beginning, right? So you know, just you just don't understand it. It's just beyond anything. You know, I think of little Summer and the boys. They probably never felt, you know, just like a clean sheet on their bed. Just a simple clean sheet on your bed. You know what I mean? And you know, on those winter days and you know, you don't feel good or it's a snow day and you know, you just lay on a clean sofa and you know, your mom or your dad will wrap you up in like a nice wool blanket and tuck your feet in and give you some chicken noodle soup, you know, like those things that really mean a lot. You know what I mean? Throwing the basket of warm towels from the dryer, throwing them on the kids. You know what I mean? Like it's just the simplest things, but it really means so much. You know what I mean? Thank you so much, Lisa. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. Happy birthday, dear Justin. You're such a blessing to everyone. You share your birthday with my daughter, Audrey. She turned 36. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Lisa. You're beautiful, by the way. Absolutely beautiful. Tell your daughter, Audrey, happy birthday. Many blessings to her and you both. Thank you for your support. Really do appreciate it. Yes, exactly, Justin. I grew up having gratitude. I cannot imagine what it must be like having parents ignore me or treat me like I am worthless. I am blessed to have parents who spoiled me with love. Yeah, yeah. And these kids are just surviving. They're just surviving. And the sad thing about it is they don't even realize, you know, I've done foster care. I only do emergency foster care now. Like it's just overnight generally. And these kids, they don't even realize what they're being subjected to, most of them, because it's just part of their life. They're like, "Oh, what? You don't live like this?" And it's like, no, it's very sad. Thank you so much, Chrissy. Appreciate you. So glad I found your channel. Real Darts about covering the boat. Very sweet of you. Thank you so much, Chrissy. Very sweet. Thank you for the kind words. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Thank you for your support. A person doesn't have to be wealthy. No, absolutely not. And to keep a clean and tidy home. Parenting is the hardest, but the most rewarding job in the world. You're right, Noni. You're absolutely right. Um, so I don't know. And the thing about, and it, with Summer's case, right? Summer didn't have cleanliness, right? She didn't have like that affection, parenting, or anything like that. It was Candace did, the kids had fun when they would go out and stuff like that, but it was just constant chaos. Sebastion, he had material, comforts. The creature comforts is what I call them. Um, oh wow, that girl, I'm sorry. She had, you know, he had, a nice clean home. You got to give Katie and Chris that. Um, but he didn't have, in my opinion, the way it seems, he just didn't have that. He probably did earlier on when Katie and Seth were together, but I think for the last 6 years, he was just completely, almost just like the other of the house. You know what I mean? Like the other. YouTubers late. um, it just kind of felt like he was the other. And, I was looking, on Kathy's Facebook. We were speaking about this last night, actually. On Kathy's Facebook, is there a picture of Sebastion on there? Not before he went missing. Not before he went missing. And I think that says a lot. I think that says a lot. Um, and I think it shows how Chris was raised as well. Him being this alpha super, what's the word where they call like the exaggerated alpha males? What do they call them? I don't know. But it was just like, if you're not, if you're anything but, what Chris and his family are, you're out. Right? You're out. They allegedly talked about Sebastion eating like feminine food. I didn't know food had a gender. I mean, are we gendering food now? Let's come on, people, get it together. It's Sarah. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you so much. Children are a blessing. My mom always said you have to wear PJs to bed. Uh, Katie's whose parents don't kids whose parents don't make them change their clothes aren't loved enough. Yeah. 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 You're exactly right. I agree. Yeah, like that he ate like sushi and tofu and stuff like that. And I don't know, it just makes me feel really none of my food has genitals, right? I mean, God, like, do we have to label everything anymore? It's just like it's just too, can we all just be called human beings and just love each other? And if not love each other, respect each other. You know what I mean? Like it's not really that freaking hard. People's made it way too complicated. Yeah, I mean to me he was cultured, right? Um and that, to me that shows more growth than what Chris was. You know what I mean? At least he would try the foods, Sebastion would try the foods and all of that. So something like a gnat or something going on. Glass bottle apple juice, insert eye roll. Lacey's Swiss cheese, insert eye roll. I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. It's craziness. Absolute craziness. Sebastion is way more of a man than CP will ever be. I agree. I agree. That's right. A more sophisticated palette. Exactly. The Christmas music program that warmed my heart. It really did, Crime Cafe, because it's true. Like he was dancing, and he's like here on the side. So I mean, he he was out dancing all of them. You know what I mean? He was out dancing every one of them. So it's crazy. So there's that. Oh, I wanted to show you something before we get started. This here, again, foster care. Indiana mom charged with reckless unaliving in death of 10-year-old foster son. Here we go again. Just wanted to bring this to you before we get started with our other stuff. An arrest warrant has been issued for an Indiana mother following an investigation into the death of her 10-year-old son who died 2 days after an incident that saw her lying across the boy's chest for several minutes. An autopsy revealed that Dakota Levi Stevens died from mechanical asphyxiation and determined the manner of death was homicide. The autopsy also said that he suffered organ and soft tissue damage, liver and lung hemorrhaging, and other injuries. According to the affidavit, Porter County deputies were called to home in the how do you pronounce it? I want to say it right. Valparaiso in April 25th for a boy who was not breathing. Responding officers said they saw bruising on the boy's lower neck and chest. Deputies tried to resuscitate the boy and then took him to Northwest Health Porter Hospital for treatment. Jennifer Lee Wilson told the officers she was the boy's foster mother, and that the incident began when he ran away from the house. She said the boy, who had verbal and physical aggression issued, had awakened the day agitated. When she told him and the other three children, all adopted, that they could go outside and play after they finished their chores. Dakota said that he would not do chores and then left the house. Wilson said she initially planned to give him a few minutes to cool off, but then looked for him in her car when she saw he wasn't in the backyard. She found him talking to a neighbor who said that the boy asked her to call police because his parents hit him and wouldn't let him call his caseworker. The woman said she saw no signs of Dakota being injured, and Wilson got in the car and took him home. When they arrived home, Wilson said Dakota was still acting up and threw himself on the ground screaming. At that point, Wilson said she laid across his midsection and FaceTimed with his caseworker, who tried unsuccessfully to calm him. Eventually, Wilson said Dakota stopped moving and she thought he was faking. When she realized he was not, she began CPR and called for someone to call 911. Dakota was ultimately airlifted to South Bend Children's Hospital, where CT scans show brain swelling, which could be consistent with being deprived of oxygen for an extended period of time. Little boy, gone but never forgotten. Very sad, man. Very sad. Again, it is these children who have been subjected to so much stuff, right? A lot of these foster kids that, if you've ever done foster care, anyone out there, they are mature beyond their years, right? And they had to grow up quick, and they think that they can do stuff like, more adult, like not being monitored while they're outside or stuff. They're like, why are you, standing here watching me? Well, it's because you're a kid and that's what you're supposed to do. Watch out after your kids, right? And sometimes they will get really irritated because it feels like someone's like, always watching them. And that's what you're supposed to do, is watch out after children, right? So, Diane, thank you so much for your super sticker, my dear. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much for that, my dear. Thank you, thank you. But I was thinking, could that be something that happened that night with Sebastion? Could he have woken up and have been irritable? Think you wait, what? Could he have woken up and been irritable? Or did Katie go in there at 11:30 and just freaked out on him because he wasn't asleep? Maybe. Maybe not. She did, Tara. She absolutely did. Kid's gone forever. How fat was the lady lying on him? I don't know, to be quite honest with you, but again, a lot of the foster care children, some of them, didn't get a lot of nutrition, so they can be smaller at their age as well. But little 10-year-old Dakota Levi Stevens, such a cute little boy, isn't he? So cute. God bless him. Um, um, I don't know if that was a recent picture of him. To me, he looks a little younger than 10 there, but could be as well. Could be as well. All right. So wanted to go over, haven't went over this, and I thought we could go over some of Steve and Chris's from the interview room, speaking about what they observe related to Sebastion Rogers case. This was a really good live. If you haven't seen this, and you want to see it without my commentary, the link is in the description. Make sure you sub up to Chris from the interview room and visit Steve Johnson's website. It's truth, the number 2 lies.com. If you go to this video, you're on here now, and go in the description, it'll take you to the video, this video there, and underneath Chris's description, it'll have Steve Johnson stuff as well. Yes, guys, if you don't mind, if you guys would hit that thumbs up button, I would be very, very grateful. I don't know if Steve has a YouTube channel. I haven't checked, but you can do, like, he offers some classes, and it's like 30 or 40 bucks a month. It's really worth it. It's really, really worth it. If you're interested.
Material, the tools, whatever it is to make those fingerprints come to life, and then you see them and you can lift them and you can use them. We do the same thing with the statement. So we're not really investigating the person. We are investigating the words that they use, which is going to reveal what's going on inside their brain, which is what we want. They have the information we want. And so,
well, I do believe that Chris offered to speak with Chris and Katie, but I believe they didn't take him up on that offer. If you remember, Chris will not speak to any guys that may disagree with him, may not take his word for the gospel, or may ask questions back. Right? You're not going to find someone more respectful during an interview than Chris. He's very respectful, but he's going to ask you questions. That's the way it works. And you should be there to answer those questions, don't you think? That's a good question. It's a good question. Why will Chris not speak to a male? Like, why? Doesn't make sense.
We want to get inside their head to extract it, and they do that with their words. It's an amazing. It's the best tool.
Yeah, Holly, that was really good.
I ever learned. It's in now my 34th year and working with law enforcement investigators. I still feel it is the most effective tool that I could have ever learned to solve cases. And so I'm excited to dive into this one.
Awesome. So if you were, let's say an agency called you in, walk people through how that happens. What takes place when an agency says, "Hey, we've got a statement."
Numerous cases. So
we just did. let Steve Bass said. Okay, I'm
First, just express. I
Now, I want to tell you guys that it is the you couldn't hear a lot of Chris and Katie in the interview, so it's going to be a little lower. So you might need to turn up your volume as high as possible on that. Thank you so much, Riley Zanny. Thank you so much for your support. Really do appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear.
can imagine as a parent what you two are going through. How would you describe the situation right now? How are you coping?
Here's a laugh or a giggle or something.
We're on a constant roller coaster ride of helpless and hopeless and many other emotions all in one, and it's a never-ending roller coaster. It doesn't stop.
Now remember, he's going to say here, we're on a constant ride of helpless and hopeless. But at the end of the interview, he's going to say optimism is at an all-time high. Doesn't make sense.
It won't stop until he walks through the door.
I wouldn't wish this on anyone.
Let's hold it right there, Chris.
Listen to this.
Okay, so a couple things. First thing is that stepdad, his name is Chris as well. So stepdad Chris, he says, well, first of all, I got to note that mom did not answer, and I'm wanting to hear certain things from mom as a biological mother. I want to hear right away her expression of concern about her son and what he is experiencing at this time. He's been missing for 8 days. And I know that the reporter, she targeted, that question to what they have been feeling, but the feeling of any parent, the grief over their missing child is going to override anything that they may be experiencing themselves. That feeling of what is Sebastion going through? What is he experiencing? Did he find some shoes? Is he getting fed? Is he staying warm at night? Is he a myriad of things? Did he find someone to take care of him? Is he scared? Is he okay? And just a myriad of.
It's like Katie started and she couldn't get, like Chris needed to start the conversation or something. And notice Katie, like she will instantly start crying and then she'll almost instantly stop at times. It's very weird. Sin, thank you so very much for your support, my dear. Really do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'll put the credit down here on the interview room. That's what I'll do. That way it doesn't block the font.
Things. And that would override everything else. And so I'm wanting to hear that from mom right away, but she couldn't come up with anything. And I've seen that in other cases where I should say cases where the parents actually had some guilty knowledge of the disappearance of their child. And when they don't come up with it right away, it's almost as if they were asked something that they weren't expected to be asked.
Mm-hmm.
And then because lots of times parents will go into once they're asked questions, they have a narrative, and that's what they think is just enough. Whatever's in their head, they think it's enough to suffice the questions that they will be asked.
This is such an important point. But when they're asked a question that they don't know or they don't know how to answer, they get stuck, right? They get stuck. So I think that's why Katie looks over to Chris, and that's when he answers. You'll notice different things like Chris will cough on the hands interview. You'll notice Chris's finger tap one or two times when I got my finger. Oh, I got lipstick on my finger. One or two times he'll be like, or he'll do one, and the camera knows that. The camera watches that. They did pick up on that. I found that very interesting. It would be like 1, 1, 2. If you watch that, it's very interesting. Holly, thank you, my dear. Happy birthday from Texas. We love and appreciate it. Thank you, sweetie. Appreciate you. Thank you for your support, Holly. It's always lovely having you. Thank you.
And if they're asked a question that doesn't quite fall in line, they're kind of at a loss of what to say. And so I'm wanting to hear Mom express things about Sebastion, and she couldn't do it. What she did say is, "I wouldn't wish this on anyone." Chris, that refers to what she's going through, not what Sebastion is going through. And that's the thing that really caught my attention, is that she has put the focus on herself rather than her 15-year-old son. And he's autistic and he has special needs, and I just don't, that just was abrasive to me. It struck me as not what I expected to hear from biological Mom.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
No, you're on a roll. I'm listening.
Well, if you have something to say about that, because I'm going to go back to what stepdad Chris said.
Yeah, no, and the rocking, that sometimes is a stress relief.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes for people.
Katie does a lot of rocking, a lot of self-soothing in her interviews, right? It's a self-soothing, and it literally goes back to infancy. When we're rocked, we're soothed, and it lasts with us forever. Nurse Sandy, thank you so very much, my dear. Happy birthday. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you. Hope you're feeling well, Nurse Sandy. Hope you're doing good, my dear. Kicking its butt. Lisa, thank you so much. Appreciate you, my love. Thank you so much for your support. Appreciate you. Thank you. Jen Soto vibes. Yes. Also, what's interesting is you'll notice something about like cases with Jen Soto, with Chris and Katie, with Dawn and Candace, right? Their mate is always next to them or always behind them, always listening, always, right? One or the other will speak more than the other one. It's a control thing because they need to know what's being asked, how they're going to respond. So you'll notice that.
Oh, they're releasing that tension and that energy, because to Steve's point, they may have something going on that we don't know. And by the way, just for the record, in the beginning of this, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. We're not here to say, they're innocent or they're guilty. That's not what we're doing. We're analyzing from a professional perspective, where both of us have testified in court as experts, in our field. Steve is an expert in analyzing this statement analysis and identifying deception. It is much different in a criminal case than it is in the civilian court for a civil case, because in a criminal case, you have jeopardy and you have people that could lose their liberty. So they have a lot more to lose than just their house or their money. So this is a different type of analysis that we're looking at.
Right.
So I don't have any other thing, to dovetail into what you've already said so far, Steve.
Okay. Going back to the first thing that Chris said, he said, we're on a constant roller coaster of helpless and hopeless.
Helpless and hopeless. Also, Chris said something in another interview whenever he says after Katie called him and he said he was going to call 911, and he said, all right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Like it's starting there.
Now, here's the thing about this, and some people, I hope you can see what I'm going to say here, where I'm going with this. That is a portrayal of emotion.
That here we go. I equate it with Don Wells. What did he say? He said, like when he went to, for those of you that know the Don Wells and Candace Summer Wells case, when Don went down to the building, he passed up his driveway and went to his other piece of land. He didn't go up to his house first with the police there. And he's like, right then and there, I knew like she was gone forever. It's like that was the here we go.
Such as you would read in a novel. It is something that, in other words, something that I don't expect to come from a de facto innocent parent. It is something that would be said to cover, because it to cover up some guilty knowledge. Let's say it is something that appeals to the emotion of,
you're going to feel helpless, right? Because you are going to feel helpless if you are a parent and your kid is out there and you don't know where your kid is. You're going to feel helpless, but you're always going to remain hopeful, right? Hopeful. That's okay, Bo. You're always going to remember and be hopeful in that. Helpless, I understand. But at the end of this, he's going to say, well, optimism is at an all-time high. It's kind of like when Chris and Katie stated in the interview with Nancy Grace how Chris said in the beginning of the interview his job is up in the air, and at the end of the interview Nancy asked, Katie, why are you down there? And she says, I'm getting him ready for his job. But in the beginning of the interview you said his job is up in the air, so you can't be getting someone ready for their job while it's up in the air, number one. And number two, Chris got himself ready every single week without you, Katie. Every single week. Why do you need to get him ready? Ready for what? Your kid is missing. You was up there all the time with just you and Sebastion 5 days a week. What are you getting him ready for? You're not getting him ready for nothing, right? Doesn't make sense. Marie Antoinette Lopez, thank you so very much. Happy birthday on July 22nd. Oh, it's coming up. Happy early birthday to you, my dear. Appreciate you. Yeah.
Of the listener, of the interviewer, of everyone out there listening to the news. Chris is appealing to that emotion, and I almost feel bad calling him Chris because I like you so much, and I'm saying Chris, and I'm referring to this guy here. So
Call me.
Yeah. So we got two Chris's on TV right now. We've got this Chris Proudfoot, and then of course Chris McDonough from the interview room. This is the good Chris McDonough,
Call me Mac,
in my opinion.
okay.
and we'll differentiate the two of them. How about that?
It's Monday, Bo. Yeah.
No,
So the important thing is that the first thing that he went to was helpless and hopeless. And Chris, it's just that a de facto innocent person is going to have hope. They are going to hold out.
Well, you don't even hear Katie getting Richard Simmons died. Shut up. Did he really? Oh, he died. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. His birthday was yesterday, 76. That's really young for him. Dr. Ruth died. She died too. Wow. That's sad. I know a YouTuber creator that was just speaking to Richard Simmons very, very recently, like within the past couple months. That's crazy. Um, yeah, he was, I mean, in the 90s, you did not go anywhere without seeing Richard Simmons, right? In the 80s and the 90s, it was huge. Sweating to the elders. Yeah, he kind of became a recluse the last 10 years or so. Yeah, Dr. Ruth, she was yeah. But anyway, getting back to this, rest in peace, Richard Simmons. What was I gonna say? I don't even remember. We'll go on.
For hope. I know of cases where a child disappeared and the parents held out for hope that that child is going to return for over 20 years. And even when investigators finally discovered that the child had been murdered, the parents refused to.
Mama Bear, I just looked at my email. Well, I'll be damned. This is Chris, Katie's friend, and Katie's friend's son when they were leaving the Harley shop. Hold on one second. Hold on 1 second. I just got a text. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's that. I haven't seen that photo. I think there's another one. 1 second. I live in West Tennessee. I live in West Tennessee, and a lot of rumors about Highway 79, Rural Highway, and Paris Landing State Park. And Chris was there February 26th. Police know. Really? Interesting. Interesting. Okay, I got some more stuff here. This is Lori's friend's son. She's down there and she knows. I wonder if she was there. That would be crazy if she was there, like during this. Thank you. What happened to it? Thank you so much, my dear. All right.
To
Let's
let that
continue.
into their vocabulary and declare the child deceased. For 20 years, they referred to him in the present tense and as alive and going to come back. And my point is that it's very difficult for them to let go. Now, this is a stepdad. It's easier for him to let go, for sure. And men in general can also let go easier than biological mothers can. But mom didn't answer. And so he went to helpless and
Lily.
hopeless. And that is not only an appeal for listeners to believe him, but it is
Terry Lynn says
an
she was there.
indication that there is no hope in his mind that Sebastion is coming back, and they're helpless. And in my mind, I'm thinking, are you kidding me? You're talking to the news right now. You should be portraying.
Yes. Wouldn't you want Sebastion? Wouldn't you want Sebastion if he's seen you to be like, baby, everything's okay. We're going to find you, try to get to help. But helpless and hopeless. How many days is this in?
You should be so happy that we're on the news and hey, everybody, that we're getting the word out. Here's what he was wearing, and let's go out and find him. And it would be like that. I would be very hopeful at that point that I'm getting it way out there to everyone. Now we learned that this interview came 8 days into the disappearance, and I'm wondering, what is the holdup? Why hasn't this happened before? And
Exactly.
it's my understanding that the parents wouldn't do an interview. And is that correct? To your knowledge?
I do not know that, Steve.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I won't.
They didn't do any interview for 7 days, and that goes for Seth too. I have to just be honest with you. That goes for Seth as well. Just is what it is.
I won't touch on that then, but I would like to see the parents right away coming out and saying, hey, our child is missing and this is who he is, and let's get the information out. But that didn't happen. And instead we have this portrayal of helpless and hopeless. And
Yeah,
mom
pink
not
butterfly. We need to see
telling
what
us
kind of vehicle
the
Lori
things that
has.
a de facto innocent biological mother should be telling us about the concern over her son. Instead, she's focusing on herself. So that's so far, that's what we got.
That's
I
And
true.
know.
so
Listen,
let's,
that's true. It wasn't Seth's house. Listen, I support Seth, but you know, I just have to, if I'm criticizing one, and I got to criticize the other if they didn't do the same thing. They didn't disappear from his house, but he also is a biological parent. It
yeah,
And I guess we can call
doesn't mean
him
I don't
CP.
support him or anything. It just means
CP. All
that's the way
right.
it is.
Good
That-
deal.
And that way, folks don't get my name and his name mixed up,
Good. Thank you for that.
which is the same name. And that was a suggestion from the chat. All right. You want me to keep moving, brother?
Let's go. Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Not anymore.
I know we're about keeping hope alive. I'm sure that's in there somewhere.
No, Erica, I think that's the babysitter, isn't
He's
it?
gonna come home.
He's gonna walk through that door. And the street will be flooded again with family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him. And
That boy's gonna have more friends than he knows what to do with when he comes home.
So
Hold up right there before we get into the next part.
Oh,
It's
I have
interesting that
pink
that
butterfly.
interviewer, she's the one that
I've spoke to a few different neighbors already. Sure have.
that she sensed that something was wrong. You can tell, and she introduced. Well, how about keeping hope alive? I'm sure that's in there somewhere, isn't it? And she wants to hear that. She's as an interviewer, as a working for the news. I'm sure she's interviewed a lot of different people and watched a lot of interviews, and she knows what comes out of the mouth of a parent whose child is missing. She's wanting to hear certain things, and she didn't hear it, and so I'm sure she's helping him out here.
From what I understand, her friend's vehicle is a black SUV.
And it couldn't come out. Mom couldn't get it out of her mouth. Again, why aren't we hearing that type of language out of her mouth? It's void. She's void of it. Yet it's at different times we're going to see during this interview that she's very teary-eyed and she's sad and I believe that she is. I believe that they're real tears. Chris, you and I have both seen fake tears in interviews many times, and the fake emotion and whatnot. I think the mom is sad here.
Yeah, I do too. I've always said I think she's sad,
It
but I
doesn't
think she's
speak
crying.
to being sad. Doesn't speak to innocence or guilt. It's just she
Bingo.
is sad at the situation. But if she really was concerned about Sebastion,
Yes.
those were
Yes, Mohawk. Justin, is her vehicle parked in front of Kathy's in the aerial news chopper video? According to Terry, that is her friend's car. Yes, the one in the aerial
words
photo.
about him would be coming out. She wouldn't be focused on herself. And so this indicates to me that she is more in a mode of self-preservation than anything. So I'm going to see how she does throughout the rest of the interview. And hopefully, I want to hear it change. I don't want to see at the end that she's went through this whole thing in self-preservation mode. I would like to see it change to where she's expressing more concern about Sebastion.
Okay, so I'm going to back up just for a second so that the audience can hear those points that you just made, and I agree with them. Agree with you 1,000%. And that sadness also could be. It doesn't necessarily mean, it's sadness towards the.
Sometimes it can just be a lot of emotions coming at you. You can feel cornered and you're trying to protect yourself, and you're sad that he's missing, and you're sad that what happened, and you know what happened. It's about self-preservation. Yes. Yes, exactly.
The totality of the circumstances. It could be sadness that,
Yep.
if there's some type of jeopardy there, that this is kind of a release of that stress. And that's where also the soothing of, the rocking back and forth comes into this as well. So I'm going to back up just for a second, listen to how this unfolded.
With family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him, and
That boy's gonna have more.
Now, the interesting part there is he keeps shaking his head no, yet he's talking about all the family and relatives coming in to hug him and stuff. Any thoughts on that, Steve?
Yeah, it's an indication that in his mind he knows that that's not going to happen, and the brain is so powerful, and what the brain knows is typically comes out physiologically, and verbally, linguistically. What the brain knows reveals itself, and that's why the polygraph works, the voice stress analyzer works, and why statement analysis works so well if you're skilled at it. And so he's saying one thing, but that head nod is giving us a different answer that it's really not going to happen.
Yeah, and if we go back, if anybody wants to see, we did an analysis on in Summer Wells' case. You can see it in the playlist early on. Steve caught so many things in that situation.
What'd you say,
and
Erica?
it was indicative of the father talking on the news, going like this, going like this. All right, so that good catch. Hang on.
he's gonna walk through that door. And the street will be flooded again with family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him, and
That boy's gonna have more friends than he knows what to do with when he comes home.
So here we are, 8 days now searching for him. Walk us through that Sunday night that he went missing. So walk us through, we've got so many people who really want to know, okay, how did this happen? So kind of just walk us through that night.
I get the sense that she's really concerned about that question. I mean,
Oh, yeah. I love those questions, and for your viewers, if they don't know, that's one of the questions that you and I would ask in an investigation, especially with a missing person or a homicide. Hey, describe your last moments with your loved one. Describe that last day with Sebastion. And if
It takes a lot of energy to lie, right? It does take a lot. It doesn't take any energy to tell the truth, but it takes a lot of energy to lie, and your brain is telling you that didn't happen, but you're speaking something, right? And you've got to constantly remember and see where
if there was something amiss, if something bad happened, it's going to make them very, very nervous, as you know. So it's interesting to see now with that question and where it focused her brain, what she says here.
So many people who really want to know, okay, how did this happen? So kind of just walk us through that night.
We were out and about that day. We were having a really good weekend.
good
We
weekend.
got home. Everything was pretty normal. He was playing in his room.
Pretty normal.
When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you." Say good.
That giggle or laugh or whatever the hell that was, that is just the weirdest thing to me. It is so bizarre. Never seen anything
night
like
to
it.
his puppies. A little bit later, I wound up going to bed, and when I woke him up for school, he wasn't there.
All right. So there's actually a lot in that.
Yes.
She doesn't
Steve
realize
doesn't
she actually
watch.
skipped over. I mean, she described that day and an evening very succinctly, but skipping over a lot of information, what they did that day, other conversations. She didn't say a whole lot, but from in my perspective, what she did say was actually pretty revealing. So the first thing that she said was, one of the first things was that that day was pretty normal.
See, I told you.
Um,
There's no pretty
now,
normal.
whenever I hear somebody
Pretty normal, and Chris says he pretty much basically vanished. He pretty much basically vanished. Well, you can't pretty much vanish, and you can't basically vanish. You're leaving something out there.
refer to the day as being pretty normal, I'm on alert.
Whenever, you tell someone, hey, how was your day? It was pretty good, right? You're leaving out something that was not so great about the day. It was pretty good. Well, why wasn't it a great day? What happened that it wasn't a great day? Tell us about that.
Right away for it
It's so obvious
not
with these
being
people, in
a
my
normal
opinion.
day. I hear this most of the time when I hear
Yes,
the
Brad, I do.
portrayal of normalcy. It has turned out to be anything but the norm, and so I'm on high alert now. Why would she say this? And I want to hear other things about in experiential language from her. We did this. We went here. We went there. I tried to get him to wear his new shirt. He didn't want to. He said, "Mom, I'm going to wear this one instead." Little things, little nuances about the day, but we didn't hear those things. She skipped over a lot of those things, which is more times than not, when somebody portrays the day as normal, it's a way of saying, hey, you should believe me that it was a normal day, and not ask me any details about the day.
Right.
Just accept that
Bingo.
it was a good day. It was a normal day. Or they will say some things that, and not in this particular case, but sometimes they'll portray it as normal, saying something in present tense, indicating this is what we always do on our normal day. And it allows them to not say what actually happened that day in a past tense. And so it's kind of two birds of the same feather here. She's telling us right away, normal day, but I don't hear the language of this is what we did, experiential language. So she's went to,
Yes, if Chris wasn't there, he shouldn't be the one speaking at all. This should be Katie speaking. He should be there holding her hand, letting her speak. She's the one that dealt with it all. Other than Chris, he shouldn't have been the one that called the non-emergency number either, but he could speak to that. He could speak to after Sebastion left, after 1 o'clock that day, things that happened that day after 1 or 1:30 on the 26th, but not before. Not a bit before. Chris says he was up in a crane when he got the call. No. No bueno. Come on, guys. Please hit that thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. It takes less than a second. If you just hit that little X right there in chat if you're on your phone, and just hit that little thumbs up and just join the chat again. Justin, her niece disappeared Sunday because she never said she took her home. There's things missing out.
I told it when I told him to go to bed, he did, and she kind of laughed. And it's what is that? It's a reference to him not going to bed. Him, times that he hasn't gone to bed, and so she's kind of laughing at it, like, for once he did, or this time he did, and
That's right, Drew.
The problem I have with it is that it is a portrayal or a reference to something negative that Sebastion could have done. So I'm now on alert, and what she says next kind of seals the deal for me. And I don't like what I'm hearing here, because she says, he said, "I love you, Mom," and he went to bed. Now, saying I love you is something that we all do. I'll call my wife, I'll talk to her on the phone, I'll say, "I love you, babe." When I'm leaving, I'll say, "Hey, I'm running out, I'll be back soon, love you." My daughters are here. When they leave or going somewhere, "All right, love you." We say I love you a lot, but we don't have the need to tell other people that, "Hey, by the way, I told my wife I loved her." If we're asked about our day, we just say, "Oh, I had dinner with the family, and oh, my wife and I went here or there, or drop my wife off at the airport," whatever it is. And these situations are situations where we would say, "I love you," but it's the need here that she has to tell the world that, "Hey, my son told me he loved me." So that on top of.
But she doesn't say, "I love you back." She doesn't say, "I love you back." That is also something, I think it was the West Boys case as well. They didn't say, "I love you back."
Of it's a normal day, and this little hint at a negative reference that sometimes Sebastion doesn't.
Yes, guys. If you are, thank you for writing that, Grace. If please put "in my opinion" or "allegedly" if you don't know it to be a fact, or if it is just your opinion.
Cooperate with me, doesn't do what I tell him to do. A little laugh about it. I'm now alarmed, because more times than not, when I hear this "I love you" come out of their mouth, I know that it is often a time when, if a crime has been committed, that is typically the time that the crime was committed. This is particularly true in domestic situations such as this, domestic homicides, other situations similar to this. So
Yes, Ebony, absolutely. When KP talks about Sunday, she never mentions her mother. I think you mean mother-in-law or her sister-in-law. She slightly mentions the niece. She leaves out additional people. Why? That has my attention. A lot of times it's not what they say, but what they leave out as well. Thank you, Erica. Gotcha. You're exactly right, Ebony. Thank you for that.
I'm always on alert when I hear that the portrayal of "I love you." And the other thing is that what that does is, what she's saying is, I'm such a good mother that my son told me that he loves me. And that even elevates this even more, that why the need to portray yourself as a good mom? That is something in the analysis field that we really take note of, that when there's a portrayal of being a good mom, and there are many cases. It's in the Summer Wells case, there's numerous missing person and domestic homicide type cases. We see this where there's a portrayal of being a good dad, a good mom, a good guy. And it's typically that betrayal comes.
Let me show you this. Erica sent this to me. All right. So this is yep. So that Volkswagen is, I'm guessing, the friend. Right? Here's Katie, and here is one of the neighbors. And if you see where it's circled, there's an extra leg there, and there's an arm there. And so there's another person there, a smaller person. I think it's a female. When was this taken, Erica? Yeah, it's Illinois plates. When was this taken, Erica? Hey, Nashville. When was it taken? In my opinion, Katie had to decide whether it's going to be CP or Sebastion. Very possible. Is that the friend's son? I think that's a woman. I think it's the wife of him. All right, Erica's not answering. It's when Sebastion went missing. Okay. Bear with me 1 second.
Around the time that if a crime was committed, the crime occurred, or right after, because they're rehabbing themselves now linguistically, psychologically. They feel the need to rehab themselves, to make themselves look better, to feel better about the situation. And so for me, it's a pretty good indication that something nefarious, something didn't go quite right that night. And so for me, it's if something occurred, it was that night,
Yep.
not the next morning.
And what have I always told you guys? Katie speaks like it happened on Sunday. We woke up, I made breakfast, we did this, we went to dinner. She always makes it sounds like it happened on Sunday. So in my opinion, whatever happened before midnight on the 25th. It's very important. On the 25th. Always felt like it happened on the 25th. Most likely between, I would say, 8 and 10, 8 and 11 max. I don't think it happened after midnight. There was stuff happening after midnight, in my opinion, but it wasn't related to what the initial, happened to Sebastion.
So yeah, I'm concerned now at this point already.
So and everybody understands what Steve's doing here is he's kind of, this is, he's not dove into this case until tonight. I mean, this is literally the first time. So it's almost as if I wanted to present it to him in this video, just fresh off the boat, for lack of a better term. And that is such a solid point.
That's a good point, Jessers. Do you think it before or during the call with CP? I think it happened. I would say it. Was there really a call with CP? I don't know. Right? The first story, Katie doesn't mention she does not mention a call with CP. But all the others, she does mention a call. But I think if it's just Katie there by herself with Sebastion, it happened before. I think if Chris was there, it happened afterwards.
About a domestic situation, for our viewers to understand, when you have the victim looking at the person potentially doing something to them, they go, "But I love you." Hey, and yet they're being abused or whatever the situation is. And that's the point.
I correct that. I'm sorry. I think it happened before, but either way.
That Steve's making here when he heard that, and I missed it until you just pointed it out, that is such a powerful statement in context to the experience level potentially of a domestic situation going sideways. So I'm going to keep moving. Do you want me to keep moving?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
So in your mind, that's usually around what time? When do you normally wake up? Around 6 o'clock? So were you instantly thinking something's wrong, or were you like, he may just...
Oh, one other thing I have to say about that last segment, and Mally picked it up as well, and I had her statement up there, but when I woke him up for school, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
That statement, when I woke him up for school, he wasn't there. Well, what do you mean? Was he woken up? Was he not woken up? What, where's that gone? What's your thoughts on that, Steve?
Yeah, that's definitely something that it's incongruent, those two things. When I woke him up and he wasn't there, well, you can't wake him up if he's not there.
Right.
So for me, that is something that is not experiential. It's something that what happens in the brain when there's any type of deception, which
very well stated.
If it's not experiential, then you have a form of deception, because she's portraying it as experiential, as something that actually happened. But what will occur in the brain is that there's so much stress there in the brain from the deception. The brain knows what actually occurred and didn't occur, and if she's now going to try to force the opposite out of her mouth, the brain is like, hey, we know this didn't happen. And it creates this stress in the brain. It transcends the body physiologically. And what happens is linguistically, we will often hear things like this that it will sound confusing. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't flow right. It will be incongruent, like her words are. And
human beings can generally tell, you can generally feel right out a lie if it doesn't feel right, doesn't smell right, right? Elizabeth, did I say thank you? If not, thank you so very much. Really do appreciate you. Thank you for your support, my dear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Lisa just gifted a pearl necklace. Congratulations to the winner. If you received that pearl necklace, please thank our beloved Lisa. Thank you so much for your support, Lisa and Elizabeth. Very kind of you both. Really do appreciate your support. Means a lot.
When I hear things like that, I'm thinking, wow, this is what's going on.
I think the phone call was twofold. I think it was an alibi, yes, but I also think it was a plan, in my opinion. This is when they are figuring it out, collecting what they need to do, shitting a brick, and getting on the road with it. Pardon my French.
Going on the heels of what we just talked about, and now I'm seeing this is called carryover stress. And in voice stress analysis, we would have carryover stress. She's still stressed about what she experienced that night. She's still having to answer questions about that. So she's
Courtney, if you're which man? Me? I'm Justin. Here we have Katie Proudfoot, mother of Sebastion Rogers, bio mother. Chris Proudfoot, biological father, or sorry, stepfather of Sebastion Rogers. Chris McDonough from the interview room, and works for the cold case. And then we have Steve Johnson with Truth to Lies. He is from Truth to Lies, and he's got a website, Truth to Lies. He's statement analysis and profiler ish. I don't know if that's what he's considered profiling.
still feeling that.
Statement
And so
analysis,
it's coming
definitely.
out now, incongruent, confusion in the language, incongruency. It's classic.
Yes.
Must be, are you in the shower?
I took a
In the living
second
room?
and walked through the house looking for him.
I tell you, I think out of anyone who did the worst interview respectfully is the person who did this interview, because she gave them, no, today's not my birthday. Monday is Trishy, sweetie. Thank you though. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. Thank you, Shelly. But I think this anchor from this news station spoon fed them a lot of questions, because you don't ask, you don't hand them the question. You don't say, wasn't you at, the steakhouse at 6:30 on Sunday evening? You just say, where were you on Sunday? Not, weren't you at this place? When you're doing an interview, make sure you ask them and let them feel the words in. You want the interviewee to be asked to be speaking 10,000 times more than you, right? Where were you, right? What were you doing? What time was it? Who, what, when, where?
In case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes.
Now listen to this.
About 3 minutes in, give or take, I
Watch
was on
this.
the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him.
Watch this.
Um,
I'm not in the house.
He
Lie.
said, what do you mean you can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
Acting. That is acted. That is acting, in my opinion, more than I can even tell you. Can't find him. Said he's not in the house. He's not in the house. However she does it. No. You wouldn't say it like that. You would not say it like that. Buzz her for every lie. That's funny. Sin, thank you so very much, my dear. Happy birthday, Monday Justin Jam. Is it all scripted? PP doesn't answer the question. He goes to the script. Yes. Yes. Because they want. No, this is not Duchess. This is with the news. This was their first news interview. And it's just, if you stay on the scripted, doesn't matter what they ask you, you stay on the script, and that way you're repeating it and you're repeating it and you're repeating it, and it's not going to change. And they learned this finally after their first 4 or 5 interviews. just keep saying the same thing, no matter what it is. So there's that. Jessica, thank you so much, my sweetheart. Appreciate you. Vincent, so much. Really appreciate you. Thank you for your support. It's very scripted. I haven't yet, Mama Bear, but I'll get to it, I promise.
And so at that point, is that when you call 911 or what's going through your mind?
While we were on the phone.
Let's stop there, Chris. Before CP starts talking, there's some things going on there. Mom she's indicating that she's certain that he walked out of the house, and I want to go back to
I agree,
something that's key there, and in the context of Sebastion missing. She said within 3 minutes I was on the phone with my husband. So
yes.
She brings that up immediately within
Yes.
3. Now, here's the thing. He's out of town. So he
How
can't
can he help? Exactly. Can't help.
She says within 3 minutes, I'm on the phone with him.
When a crisis is happening, right? A real, legit emergency. You want help, right? You need help. You want someone who is closest to you, right? Your husband is 3.5 hours away. He can't help. He's 3.5 hours away. So what am I going to do? Right? I'm either going to continue checking, looking around the house more than 3 minutes, maybe knocking on a few neighbors' doors to see if they've seen anything, call the bio father who is local, but more importantly, call emergency services. 911. Something they still didn't do, right? Odie, thank you so very much, my friend. Thank you. Appreciate you, Odie. Thank you for your support, my love. Really do appreciate you. Becky Nay, thank you so much for becoming a Pearl. Welcome to the exclusive club. Pearls look amazing on you, Becky. Welcome, y'all. Please welcome Becky to the Pearl group. Thank you so much, Becky and Odie. Really do appreciate your support. In my opinion, the only reason to call CP first is because he is controlling narcissist, and KP would be in trouble for not calling him first to handle it and tell her what to do, in my opinion. I think she called because they needed to set, in my opinion, Chris's alibi. And there's a reason a person doesn't dial 911 and calls non-emergency services on an alleged three-way, right? An alleged three-way. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Really do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, my love. Phone call, alibi, and plan, in my opinion. Yep. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Thank you again, Ann. Appreciate you.
He has just brought him into this via a phone call.
Yes.
It's very important.
A
Their conversation on the phone is very important. And I'm going to dovetail back to something that I didn't comment on just in the segment just before this.
You're naked.
If you remember, she said when she was describing the night, and Sebastion went to bed and said, "I love you, Mom." And then she says, a little while later, I wound up going to bed. Well, what that is a little while later means there's time that has spanned. that she's not going to tell us what she did in that span of time.
Right.
And she is not saying how long it was, but she just says a little while later, that's going to suffice for her.
A little while later, not, not filling nothing in, just a little while later, nothing, just filler to get to the next thing.
We don't know how much time span, but we now know on the back end that she was on the phone with her hub with CP for 3 hours, I believe it was, before she went to bed. And now she's bringing in now that she's on the phone with him again. This phone conversation with him is going to be really key in whatever happened to Sebastion.
Well, she qualifies it too, Steve, right? She goes, I can't find him. Well, what does that mean? I mean,
did you find it strange the way that she said that?
Yeah, it was like she paused, she's thinking, you can see her gears going.
Yeah.
And let's play that back one more time for the audience
and
get a better context even for what she must do. Let me go back here just for a second. And by the way, everybody, I hope you can hear this. I've got it turned up full volume. So if you can't hear it real well, turn up on your side over there, the computer on your side, just in case. I certainly want everybody to hear what's being said here.
Are you in the shower?
I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About 3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him.
She laughs.
Yeah, I mean, that was just out of thin air, within 3 minutes, I can't find him.
Yeah.
Well, and it's almost a contextual
Let's get to 1,000 likes
where
1,000 likes. I'll do it every time. Come on.
She's trying to put it into this anomaly of conversation where, I've been looking for him and I can't find him.
She's hoping it'll get accepted, that it's going to be accepted. But this has so many ties to Summer Wells because this is so interesting. It's very similar to.
Holy crap. Are you serious, Lisa? Hold on. Let me check. Oh, crap. Let me see here. Trump leaves rally after security incident. Let me try CNN then. Secret Service agent rushed to stage. One second.
You see how they got to the ground and that they were waiting to move him after we heard those noises. We don't know what those noises were at this point.
Why can't y'all see that?
That they get him off the stage.
Hold on. Why can't y'all see that?
And the former president was in his armored vehicle. They had now left the site of that incident.
Can y'all hear that?
Former President Donald Trump no longer there at that rally site. So I'm gonna let you watch more to see this full thing unfold. You see, they move him off the stage. He is standing up. It's unclear what his status is, but you see him put his fist up, and you see him do it.
Hold on. Let's go over here. Give me 1 second.
When Chris, you were at the house, and mom is walking you through the house, and you're down in the dungeon basement, and mom walked you out the door where she's saying that she thinks that Summer was taken out of that door, that downstairs door, and she came out that door. And I use this clip for my training in the classes that I teach. But mom comes out and she says, I came out here and I said, Summer. And
Guys, I'm not usually a political person, but this is crazy. I don't want.
Not the answer. Certainly not violence against political opponents or people in the space running for president is just crazy. And so I think at this moment, everyone just needs to wish, of course, everyone the best, the president. I know our president, I know President Trump. At this moment, it's important that we are wishing President Trump a recovery, and political violence is not the answer. And I think that this is a really, scary moment for politics. And I think the images that we're seeing are horrific.
Congressman Garcia, thank you very much for
coming
to the Saturday show and hanging in there with us for a few moments. As we're looking again on the left of your screen, you see former President Donald Trump reacting to something hitting him on the right of his head, dropping down to the stage.
This could have been a J.
Secret Service agents jumping on top of him.
Please keep your political
situations like this. This happened moments
stuff
ago
out of it.
at a Trump rally
I know
in
it's political, but
Pennsylvania.
If we don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it all.
Former chair of the Democratic
I don't want
National
this for any
Committee,
candidate. This
Howard
doesn't
Dean,
belong in
and
America.
Also former governor of Vermont, and Stuart Stevens, senior advisor for the Lincoln
No
Project
human
and
being
author
deserves
of
to be
The
on the
Conspiracy to End America
Legion, what
5 Ways
happened.
My Old Party is Driving
Gotta remember what
Democracy
happened to
Autocracy.
JFK.
Gentlemen, just your reaction to this literal breaking news that's happened just as we have come on the air. Governor Dean, your reaction first.
Well, obviously, violence is not the answer in a democratic society, and it's important for candidates not to use violent images because this is the kind of stuff that happens when you do that. So it looked like the president wasn't, or the former president wasn't badly hurt, but we don't know, and we don't even know what caused it. But I think I just put an appeal out for everybody who's going to vote and who has strong feelings, that if you go this far, that is not going to serve democracy well.
Stuart?
Working in campaigns, you always are concerned, presidential level, about security and about any chances of risk to a candidate. We just have to find out what happened here. Hopefully, President Trump's going to be okay. It looks like he is, but we really just don't know enough about what happened here. I can't really comment on it, except if it is violence, it obviously has no place in American politics.
Again, just to bring people up to speed, the images on the left part of your screen is recording from moments ago after former President Donald Trump.
I don't know.
Was attacked in some way, and I use the word attacked because, as we saw, he was standing there at the podium, flinched at a noise, grabbed the right side of his head, and then as Secret Service agents rushed to the stage, he dropped down. Secret Service agents, as is protocol, covered the former president. And then on the right side of your screen, you saw images of after the Secret Service agents got Donald Trump off that stage and into the armored SUV. This rally, you see.
I mean, we got to remember, Secret Service, they are there to protect the president. It doesn't matter if you're blue or red. They're there to protect the president, just like our soldiers are. They're there to protect the homeland, right? They're there to protect all of us. It's not political.
The left side of your screen, you will see the former president speaking, and then flinch, grab the right side, and then drop down as Secret Service agents rush to the podium. There on the right side of your screen is
Had to be very scary.
that's a live picture from that rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, where the former president had only been speaking for about 5 minutes when the action that you see on the left side of your screen
Jay,
took place.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree it's about political opponents. I believe it's a stupid person, just like
we have heard
stupid people
such
on any side.
violent rhetoric on the campaign trail. The campaign itself has been very intense. The language has been very aggressive. Lots of people, Republicans and Democrats, expressing a lot of concern about the tenor and tone of this presidential election. How concerned should we be that what we have just seen in Butler, Pennsylvania is something that we're going to have to look out for with increasing frequency?
Well, I mean, I think as the temperature continues to boil, as we get closer and closer to this election, which is an incredibly divisive election.
That's right.
There's going to be more violent feelings. Whether there be more actual violence is hard to say. This is a very difficult stunt to pull off. We don't, of course, know what was pulled off. I'm assuming it was some sort of gunshot that actually missed, which would have been an attempt to kill the president. I have no idea. But
that would be terrible.
The Secret Service is incredibly good at this. Because I was a front runner for a very brief time, I actually had some Secret Service people working for me. They're really good at their job, really good. So, it's impossible to know what's happened here. But I suspect the Secret Service will figure it out pretty quickly. And I'm a little surprised that they didn't, if there is a gunman, which it looked like there probably was somewhere, that they didn't pounce on somebody. But we don't know. I don't know I've actually been to Butler. I was campaigning for Obama in Butler in 2008. It's pretty conservative territory. I stood out in front of a UAW factory.
Look at the people.
Shifts as they came out and then went back in. The only question they asked.
The people behind him, they heard it too, because as soon as he grabbed his ear, they jumped down as well. So it was something.
Is Obama going to take our guns? So it's conservative territory, working class territory. And so it's impossible. Again, it's possible to know what happened. And until we know what happened, it's going to be probably not all that helpful to make speculative remarks.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Stuart, Governor Dean raises an interesting point, and I would love if you have any perspective also on Butler, Pennsylvania, that area.
Where was it when 9/11 happened? Whenever they why was it that happened when 9/11? Wasn't it Butler, Pennsylvania, where the plane went down? I don't remember. That's right. They protect, no matter if they agree with the president or disagree with them personally, they still put their life on the line, just like our soldiers. Just like our soldiers. So there's that. There's my Holly. Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much for gifting a pearl necklace. If you received that pearl necklace, please thank our beloved Holly. And thank you so much, my dear. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Okay. Oh, that was Shanksville. You're right, Shanksville. Yeah. Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Yes. So very sad what is happening in our country. Yeah. It is. It is. I hate chop set. No one sees me. Put it on all chat. All chat. All right, guys. Yeah, I don't want to see. Yes, Shanksville, Somerset County, Pennsylvania. I was watching a documentary on that the other night. It takes you right back. If you was alive at that time, that's a day you will always remember for sure. He was R. Taylor, he was okay because he was sticking his arm out, chanting with the crowd, so he's okay. But it looks like it might have skimmed his ear, which it's, whoever did that, they're going to be in a world of trouble. World of trouble. Memorial trial too. Yes, just outside of Shanksville. Yeah. Just pray. Just pray. Thoughts and prayers, right? Thoughts and prayers. All right, guys. I'm going to end it here. I've been alive. I've been live 2.5 hours. I need to go run and do some stuff. I will be back tonight for sure. Yeah, the day the world stood still in time. Never forget that day. They said shooter down. Don't know if that means unalive or unarmed. Good. Thank you, guys. Richard Simmons, yes. Thank you all. Love you. I'll be back later. I'll be back by 9 tonight. By 9. Love you guys. I really do appreciate you. You could have chosen to be anywhere. You chose to be here. God bless every single one of you. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye-bye.